Hi, this is Kelly, and it is day 6 of my 100-day juicing journal. And I'm having a good day, and I just got off the treadmill and did just an easy like 5K on the treadie just to ease back in. I decided to sign up for a 5K race in March next month. So I have about 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks from today, and I haven't been running, so low expectations, but I just thought, I just want to get back into it. And part of it has been that I've been really cold since I've started juicing. And by the time I get home from work at night, I'm just like, all I want to do is get into fleece pajamas under a fleece blanket with a space heater next to me. And even though I know once I start running, I'll warm up, it's just has been impossible to get myself to put on my running gear and go downstairs into my cold basement. So I thought, well, maybe signing up for a 5K will motivate me to get going. And my weight will be lower, so hopefully it won't be so hard on me. Anyway, while I was running, I decided to turn on like a documentary to watch. And I often like to watch running related videos or movies or documentaries while I'm running, especially ones that are like kind of motivational. And I found this documentary that was called the Barkley Marathons, the race that eats its young. And it's this event where it's been going on 15, like 30 some years, and there's maybe been like 22 people or something like that that have actually finished it. And so anyway, I was watching that, and it is brutal. I mean, it's brutal. And they were interviewing people who were going to do it, and they were kind of asking them about their life philosophies and why they would do something like this Barkley Marathons. And one person was saying something about I don't know, like the gift that comes from pain, like the way that you live your life if you've endured something painful, and how you appreciate the good times better and a bunch of stuff. And it was like the third time that I have heard that message in the last week. Another time was a link that Kirsty K had posted on Juicing Mama's Facebook page. I will try to track that down and then paste it below in the something wherever I can put it down below. But it was just this motivational speaker. I don't even know who it was, but I mean, he was a powerful speaker, and he was talking about the gift that our suffering is a gift. So the things that we have to endure and go through makes us who we are, makes us better people, stronger people. It makes us the kind of people that inspire others if we can get through it. And anyway, it was just a really powerful message. And the day before yesterday, I was looking for some podcasts, and I came across this Rich Roll podcast, which he is an ultra marathoner. No, he's an ultra like triathlete. And he was interviewing these two women who had completed, I think it's called the Elite Five. Elite Five? No, that's not right. The Epic Five. The Epic Five. And no women had ever finished it before. And one of the women was the first to do it. And then the other one, like, did it the second year or something. But so they were talking to those two women about, like why they would do like something so like endurance. And there was sort of a similar message too about what comes from this really big struggle. And actually, that one, well, one of the things I got out of that was they were sort of talking about how there were all these sort of unexpected things that would happen during that event. The Epic Five is 5 ultra marathons in 5 days on 5 different islands in Hawaii. And logistically, something always goes like awry. It's like unpredicted, and you just kind of have to roll with it. And they were giving the example of they were flying from one island to the next island, and they were already in their swimsuits, and the first thing they were going to have to do was swim in the ocean. And right before they were about to land, they told them that they weren't going to be able to swim because there were sharks in the ocean that day, and so they couldn't do that. They had to move it so that they were going to have to do it in a swimming pool. and they were going to have to run 9 miles to the swimming pool. And they were already like in their swimsuits and stuff. But anyway, so they were talking about how they just kind of were like, oh, all right. And that it's that kind of people who can finish something like an Epic 5, and that people who can't really roll with the punches, people who like, this is the way things need to be, people like me, who have complete meltdowns if, the slightest little inconvenience happens to me during the day, are the kind of people who will mentally break and then just quit. And the people who can just sort of let things slide are the ones who can endure. And that made me wonder about like temperament, and what are the things that we're sort of born, like what are the characteristics that we have that we're born with, and what are the characteristics that we can build. And that made me think of a story a friend of mine told me many years ago about her 2 kids. And she said that one of her children was like building these little forts with pillows, and then at one point all the pillows fell down because they weren't stable. And as soon as they all fell down, she just started picking the pillows back up and rebuilding. And she said that her other child was the kind of child that as soon as the pillows would fall down the first time, he would take them and just throw them across the room and have a complete fit about, it not going the way he wanted it to go. And that's kind of the first time I really started thinking about this idea that there really are differences in our temperament that we're kind of born with, and we have to sort of work with that our whole lives. And I'm the kind of person who would throw the pillows across the room because they fell down, and it's not fair, and why did that other person's fort look better than my fort, and that kind of thing. What's the point? God, I hate that about myself. But then Rich Roll was sort of talking to these women, and because they were talking about how easily they had rolled with these things that went wrong. And he was saying when he did it, because he and a friend were the first ones to ever do it. It wasn't even an event when they did it. It was just something they did, and now it's an event. But anyway, he was saying that he also completed it, but he did not roll with the punches as well as these women did, and that he had some fits along the way. And he, like snapped at some people and just, wanted to quit a couple times, but then ultimately didn't. And that made me think about what are the things that I've actually endured. I mean, I spend a lot of time talking about my weaknesses and how I tend to give up on things, and I make a lot of comparisons to other people, and I think things aren't fair, and then I quit things. But I don't quit for good. Like I've accomplished quite a few things that I had a lot of false starts. So I started, and then I quit, and then I started, and then I'm like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And I kept going back and kept going back and kept going back until I finally accomplished it. And I did that with quitting drinking. I did that with getting a PhD. I did that with quitting smoking. I'm still trying to run or complete a marathon at some point. And even though I haven't done it yet, I am still, I still am trying that. I still have that as a goal, and I still train for them. I tried one last year and then ended up with an injury and had to stop again. But I'm still trying, and I've been battling this food addiction over and over and over. And every time I fail, I get up again and I try again. And so that kind of made me realize that I can, hang on, I'm doing my video. Okay. Anyway, I can actually accomplish something, even if maybe my temperament isn't the best. Like maybe I don't have that, that just rolls off my back, but it doesn't mean that I can't complete a task that I set for myself. Not letting things slide off your back, apologize, makes things harder. I mean, it's not like a great way to be. It would be wonderful if I could just be like, oh, well, all right, well, let me just go run 9 miles then, and go to that pool over there. I would love to be able to do that. So I don't know. I'm going to do some research on that just to kind of look into, like, can you change your temperament, or do you just need to accept who you are, like the kind of person you are and what temperament were you given, and then find ways to work with that. And if you're not one of those people that just can easily immediately roll with something, and you're the kind of person that needs to process a little bit and then regroup, then figure out how to accomplish your goals given who you are. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to accomplish with these next 100 days as well, is acceptance around who I am, what my limitations are, and how can I use those to accomplish the goals that I want to accomplish. And how many of those are actually gifts? Like, that's what I'm doing with my gratitude list. So I told you a couple days ago that I'm doing this meditation every day. And one of the cool things about that Insight timer that I told you about, that app on my phone, is that it counts how many days in a row that you've completed one. And so I've already had it. Congratulations, you've done 4 consecutive days. And so I have. And every night I have written in my journal that's right next to my bed something about my gratitude for my food addiction, and how this is going to like be a positive for me. And one of the things that I've been kind of thinking about with all these messages I keep hearing about pain and how it's a gift, and how you like just learn who you are or become of service to others because of what you've endured. And I'm realizing that sometimes I think about this, and one of the things that I've been grateful for is that if I can overcome this mental obsession with food and being completely in bondage to my own addiction, that I could maybe be of service to other people who have the exact same issues that I have. But it may also be that getting through this is going to give me strength or faith in myself or something, that will get me through something else that's also really difficult. Like just accomplishing 100 days juice fasting is an accomplishment. I mean, a lot of people have said they were going to do it and then have dropped off by now. And some people, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying it's not an easy thing to do. It is. It can be rough sometimes. And, just accomplishing that can give you strength and faith in yourself, and know that you're capable of getting through something else. And if I didn't have this food addiction, I wouldn't have met my friend Kirsty Kay, who then turned me on to juicing, who then led me to Juicing Mama, and then the Juicing Mama youth Facebook group, and then all the YouTubers, and then starting my own YouTube video, and even having the idea of doing something like 100 days. And so all of that came from my struggle. And I don't know what my struggle is going to ultimately give me as my gift, whether that's going to give me the opportunity to be of service to other people. And maybe it will, but maybe it'll be in other ways. So I'm kind of excited to see where it leads me. And I don't need to really know what it is to know that it's a gift, and to have faith that what it ultimately ends up opening, opportunities for me is, I'm just rambling now. Anyway, the opportunities that are going to open up for me after having done this, I don't know what those are going to be, but I bet they're going to be exciting, and I'm going to have a sense of purpose. I'm going to feel like I'm glad that I went through it all, because I never would have gotten whatever that is. So anyway, this is really long, and I didn't really intend it to be that long. But so anywho, I am just going to end it at that. Okay. So keep coming back, and I will talk to you tomorrow.